Good morning and welcome to Business Express. It is time for the Tech Friday edition, and I'm joined this morning by a very special guest. Everything tech, just leave it to him. I'm talking about the general partner and Cestus Advisory, Fisayo Durojaye. Good morning to you.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, Romas. Good morning, Lagos. Good morning, everyone listening and watching. It's great to be here again this Friday.
If only you guys can see him, except those on YouTube. It gave me the double peace sign. And if he were a politician, I would say it would be running twice for office. But well, let's move on, Fisayo. So let's pick up the space for YouTube. As at OpenAI has introduced a text to video via Sora. So I'd like you to help us get a better grasp of it in terms of speaking to the pros and then the benefits we can get from this text to video.
Okay, so I mean, there are many things there are many advantages, of having text to video. So, for instance, you are a content creator, right? And you wanted to create a conversation. Maybe you're advertising something. You're just a media personality. You're trying to advertise, Spoke FM, right? So you created a conversation. You created a drama, in text. That, okay, this one says this, that one responds this way, and then something happens. You can literally just take that script and put it on your Chat GPT. Of course, it's not on Chat GPT 3.5. It's on the paid version, right? Where you put it on, and then Chat GPT help generate a video that acts out, these texts, in a way that looks exactly like what you might be thinking about. So again, that's what that does, right? So of course, it means that it makes a lot of things easier, for you. You can just create the thing, and then of course it's animations, because you don't need physical actors to go and act for you. You're trying to advertise your school or your small business. Just create the content, and of course, ChatGPT handles the text. It will take that thing that you've done from text and create a video, for you. I mean, that is amazing. It's not just and of course, we'll do this in matter of seconds, right? So you don't need any graphic designer, or we're not just a graphic designer, but say even typical animation specialists, 2D design, 3D animation. Nah, all of that is gone because ChatGPT brings out all of that. And so, of course, you can then start to face like this, make it look like this, make it look like an avatar, make it look like this, and then, of course, all of those things, then change based on, the similar ways you interact with ChatGPT today to say, make it less formal, make communication less formal, make it, remove all of these things, and all of those kind of, things. It becomes very interesting to see. So again, it's an interesting use case that OpenAI has, to allow us and launch it into the market.
You've spoken to the pros already. So flip the coin and give us some of the cons we can see in this. And these clips are indistinguishable. You can't really distinguish them from real videos. What about the deepfake dangers? And most especially, we just last month we saw one with one of these celebrities where a deepfake was released. Yes. So speak to that for us.
Well, unfortunately, that's one of the things that happened with technology, right? So it might be hard to actually distinguish, what is real, what is not real, eventually. So again, there are challenges around, like you said, deepfake videos that will appear that it is, say, you that is talking, but it has nothing to do with you because you were never there, you were never somewhere else. So I guess you have to be able to prove where you are on the day that the alleged crime or conversation was had, yes. Right? Again, that becomes very hard to deal with. Of course, there are also other things around what's it called, employment and, replacement of jobs, across different sectors. People had suggested that creative sectors will be less affected by AI and digital, but it appears that this is an affront, or this is an assault on the creative industry in itself, when you can start creating videos in seconds, much more than what your animation director can come up with. You said you don't need a Pixar studio to get your movie, done. Essentially, you can do a short movie, put the script on ChatGPT, create your own superhero, and OpenAI helps you create that character and create these conversations, put the sound effects in there, ensure that everything goes as well as, and then you can launch in a week. Again, these are things that were previously inconceivable to the mind, right? And of course, that's how technology comes into play, to make things, to a large extent better, as much as possible. So again, my push is going to be, while yes, we recognize the pros, the cons that are there as well around, job replacements, yes, around deep fake type things, where it's easier for people to just create something and it sounds exactly like you, and then you have to then come out to prove that you are not the one doing the thing, rather than some, AI, as it were. At least, what's it called? Some of our government officials in Nigeria had suggested that, Instagram Live that was done during the NSAS protest was, in quotes, Photoshop. Again, something like this then gives more credence to some of those kind of, previously regarded frivolous acquisitions, as it were.
So this leads us to, it's certain now that people will be replaced, redundancy. We're looking at redundancy, especially in the creative sector, if I can take your submission now. But let's take it to school and see what AI does to AI in terms of learning in schools. And it seems that it can help greatly. But the organic process of learning can also be lost in the process.
Yep, I agree. I mean, sincerely, I am open to all of these ideas, strangely, right? Because again, it makes learning. So today, last night I was chatting with, Gemini, which is or Bard, previously Bard, right? I was chatting with Bard around, because I felt that Bard, unlike ChatGPT, Bard has a lot more updated, opinions or updated data to work with, compared to, say, ChatGPT, that I think the last update was I think sometimes last year, right? Bard is the Google version of ChatGPT, right? So I was just chatting with it to understand, maybe Berkshire Hathaway, how it started, what it worked, the things they bought, so it was giving me so rather than going to look for information somewhere, it was giving me all the information I needed to make a decision. I asked about, Spark in Nigeria, and it gave me the summary of the Spark regulation here in Nigeria. It was amazing. I did all of that on my phone without needing to leave, So those things are learning opportunities, because I really wanted to learn about what it took to build, some of the things that some of these men have built. Asking, questions like, how did they start? Where did they get the money from? Did they raise capital? And was telling me, okay, these are the times they raised capital over the last few years. But what they did was they invested in this, and I would give them cash. It was giving me all the information that I needed to make decisions, It's such a relief, rather than just going to Google and searching and then see one book and then start reading the book and then trying to figure out what, all of that kind of thing. So again, it's great for education, really. Right.
But the undertone there seems like there'll be room for laziness now in it. You just sit and you'll be spoon-fed all the knowledge you need.
Well, why do you want to make knowledge acquisition hard?
Okay.
Right? Are you a sadist? I don't understand. When someone says that, why not make it hard? And that's the point of technology. Technology makes your life simple, easier, and makes things simple,
yes,
to access. right? Makes your life easier. So imagine my parents, whatever year of that they went to school, if there was no Google for them to use, but Google suddenly showed up for me, and I'm able to use that during my own project, right? Wikipedia was there, even Harvard professor was copying Wikipedia, pages, right? Wikipedia was there. I remember back in the day, it was encyclopedia. That was this. What was that?
Encarta.
Encarta. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, so things is just making knowledge acquisition a lot easier to reach. And I remember you have to have Encarta on your system. So again, it was that. So we've evolved up until today, and I imagine my parents like, "You're using Encarta. I mean, during our own days, we used to go to the library." Okay. Well, sorry about that. I don't have to go to the library. And of course, all of that now is available for free on the internet. But much more is like you can then now have them, simply released to you, more easily, compared to then having to run through pages and pages of Google answers and then find, so again, it's just, but the challenge with that is that you don't have to, give yourself a rebirth, because some of these answers are then now tainted by the opinions or of the programmer. So if you ask, can a boy be a girl? OpenAI ChatGPT will gladly tell you that the boy can be a girl, but of course that's ridiculous. It makes no sense. I remember having that conversation with OpenAI as well. Again, you have to then look for some of those nuances and then shape your own person different from what they want you to believe. So again, those are the things you just have to be real about.
All right, so let's quickly touch on Jeff Bezos and his sale of Amazon shares, and 3 times over the past week, pocketing about $6 billion US, and then look at it and how Amazon shares fared last year, and then touch a bit on Bitcoin, and it's looked like it's on the rise.
Yeah, I mean, it's like everything is going to the moon, right? As much as possible right now. Amazon was one of the best performing stocks last year, returning over 200%, growth within a period. So again, Jeff Bezos selling, a portion of his shares. Again, maybe wants to cash in on some of those gains, or he wants to maybe make investments in new business lines or new ideas that he's thinking about. Again, I don't know. He had done some space type thing, earlier last year, or no, 2 years ago actually, where he went flew to space and then came back in 2 minutes, and of course that cost millions of dollars, right? So again, maybe those are some of the things that he's trying to to fund, before he dies eventually, right? Bitcoin on the other hand had also been growing, significantly. So it means that soon in FOMO will start creeping back in, and everybody will start putting their money back in, especially when Naira is also going in the southern direction, setting new lows and new records of lows, right? So Bitcoin, at least in Nigeria, will then start being that store of value or alternative way, especially when the CBN has then now stopped the ban on transactions around cryptocurrency in Nigeria. So again, there are potential, upsides on both sides. So it's interesting to see what this year will look like. We'll look out for. But of course, we start seeing brake lights in at least Japan with a recession, right? Job numbers in the US. Job numbers US. Potential, election year across, different key global economics. So again, these are some of the potential headwinds that we see, by the end of the year. But of course, it started off as a positive year, no doubt. Even in Nigeria Stock Exchange as well. So we'll see if this is sustainable throughout the rest of the year.
It's a fine place for us to draw the conversation. Positive note to get into the weekend. So we say thank you to Fisayo Durojaye, General Partner and Cestus Advisory, for your time today. Have a great day.
Thank you for having me.
And that's the size of Business Express on Smooth 98.1 FM. My name is Omatseye Atsenuwa. Good morning.